Good evening, Winterburn, Dragon Ace Fakafon. Yeah, it's such a shame I haven't turned this into the all Battle Monster stream all the time, but I don't know if I'm quite talented enough to get behind every character. Hello there, Nicholas. I'm gonna start in about 3 minutes, but when it gets to maybe a minute of, I'm gonna ask everybody what I should do on this stream. Hey there, Tyler. Hey there, Joshua. I don't know what you mean by war game, but this is not one of those. Oh, well, Fakafon, I hope that, that happens sooner rather than later. Sucks to have to be waiting for that. Whew. Well, whatever I end up doing on this stream, I will never forget the incredible help provided by Juice Malone. Joshua Joestar, the Synesthesia game is Res, but that's not war. Hey there, Connor. Alright, chat, I have a question for you, because I have 3 things to do with, well, 3 things to do in this game. Should I go hunting for bad endings? Should I do the pop quiz and get more character backstories? Or should I go for one of the 2 real endings that remain in this game? What should I do about that? Yeah, sorry, DJ Gamer, I'm not gonna follow up on the Battle Monsters Legacy. I don't have the sequel, and I looked up some gameplay, and now I'm not even sure I want it. I could hardly believe you weren't kidding when you mentioned that a 3D sequel existed. Freaking embarrassing. And it's not even really a sequel. Alright, we have 1 vote for Pop Quiz. Do we have any others? Hey there, Insane Buffoon. Fakafon, Full End. 3 people are saying Pop Quiz. 1 vote for Full End. 2 votes for Full End. Also, hello there, Douglas. So it's 3-2 right now. Pop Quiz to Full End. Nobody cares about bad endings. Let me go ahead and look up the pop quiz in case that's what I end up using. It probably will be, actually. There we go. Well, Connor, this is a visual novel that had a surprisingly intricate plot, and we beat it, so now I'm looking for other endings and just post-game cleanup. Hello there, Nicholas. It looks like, wow, it looks like the real ending took over. Alright, I guess I'll go for the real ending. And I have no idea, by the way, what this is going to entail, so I guess I'll look up how to get that ending right now. Let's hope I actually can access it, because if I can't, I'll feel like a jerk for even asking. It looks like I can just do it, though. Yeah, this could work. It's gonna be stupid. Oh yeah, Joshua, I've heard of PsyOps, but I don't have it. Oh, Connor, that's what you meant with the war game with the synesthesia. Yeah, that was a prequel story that had no choices at all. We just kind of watched it. Hey there, Michael. Alright, it looks like I'll go for the full ending, so I'm going to go ahead and start the stream now. We are back with 428 Shibuya Scramble. We've done a lot of what this game has to offer. All that's left is looking for bad ends, getting pop quiz special episodes, and going for full endings. And the chat wants me to go for one of the 2 full endings remaining in the game. So let's go for Minorikawa. And let's go all the way to... Keep going. To here. Boom! A common name. Remember that? We had to go with Endo to advance the game. Minorikawa offered a guest of his own. So it says, choose anything but the last option. I guess I'll just do Endo anyway. Toyama furrowed his brow and muttered under his breath. No, that's not right. Now I choose Nakamura. But this is the weird thing. This is something that you would never figure out. I'm gonna choose Nakamura. Nakamura! And now I'm just gonna not press anything, and I'm gonna wait for a while. So we're just chilling. I'll see where this takes us. I hope this works. While we have Toyama thinking. I'm waiting. I really hope I'm not wasting my time, by the way. Hello there, David. Do you enjoy my stream of a still image? With his laid-back music? With blurry Hana staring us down? Oh yeah, Joshua, the Kanan story in this game had, like, Kanan's whole existence is just like anime, I guess. This is the same game, believe it or not. I don't know, am I doing this right? According to my little guide, I gotta choose Nakamura and then wait for a while. That's what I'm doing. But I don't know how long I have to wait. Nice laid-back music, though. I wonder if there's a prerequisite for getting this ending. I hope not. Or else I'll have to fall back on bad ends and pop quiz. Is there a recommended order I do this? I wouldn't think I have a prerequisite for this, though. All it says is just do this. I don't know. Because wouldn't you think I'd waited long enough at this point? I don't know. I'm getting nothing. Nothing at all. If nothing happens in like another minute or two, I think I'm just going to give up on the full ending and go for bad ends and pop quiz, because this is getting me absolutely nowhere. I don't know how long they expect me to wait, honestly. Choose Nakamura. Wait for a while. That's what I'm doing. I really wonder if I'm missing some prerequisite, though. I have to collect all the bad endings. Do I actually have to get the bad endings before going to that part? Well, if that's the case, then I apologize. We're not doing full end. Because I can't. That was no good. I apologize for that. In that case, chat, what should I do? Should I do bad ends, or should I do pop quiz? Hey there, Matt. Bad ends or pop quiz? What'll it be? Oh, actually, I'll go back into jump endo just so I can advance the game. There we go. Fix the timeline. Alright, so chat, what am I doing here? Am I going to do bad ends, or am I going to do pop quiz? There we go. Did it. I saved the timeline, ladies and gentlemen. Or not. Oh, right, because yeah. I have 1 vote for bad ends, 2 votes for bad ends, 3 votes for quizzes. Didn't that work? I don't understand why I can't advance Minoru Arakawa's story. It's a little weird. Hello there, Shade. I don't know what happened with Minoru Arakawa. I'll have to catch up to this later, I guess. That's a little distressing. But oh well. Anyway, it looks like people are going for quiz, so sure, let's go for quiz. I think that ultimately leads me to some endings anyway, so I don't really mind. That was strange, though. Oops. I guess I can't really do that, can I? Oh my god, what a reveal! I was also too shocked for words. Yeah, I messed up some endings somewhere. Because now everyone's to be continued. Except for, obviously, Osawa and Maria. I messed something up. But, alright, whatever. How do I go back to the main menu from here? Or do I actually have to do it in here? There it goes. Back to title screen. How embarrassing. However, let's go to that pop quiz. Get some character episodes. There it is, pop quiz. Question 8. Maria needs to be quarantined to prevent this. Well, I think we might remember this, right? Pandemic. Yay! Correct! I did it, I'm some kind of genius. Good night, Fakafan. Chiriko Osogi. Yes! I haven't seen her in a long time. There are 2 sheets of paperwork here. They're printouts of material found on some underground internet site. The contents are classified information from Okoshi Pharmaceutical Company Ltd. In all likelihood, they were leaked from a PC that had been infected with some kind of spyware. Herein are the full details of the dreadful contents of those pages. Analysis results for Chiriko Osogi. Okushi Pharmaceutical. Research and Development Division. Top secret. Handle with care. Findings. It has been confirmed that a previously unknown enzyme is being produced within the body of Chiriko Osugi, hereafter the subject. What? Enzyme has been named hypersustenance chiriase after the subject. Effects. The main function of hypersustenance chiriase is the digestion and breakdown of triglycerides. When compared to the enzyme lipase, which possesses the same functions, hypersustenance chiriase is capable of breaking down fats far more efficiently and without the stimulation of exercise, and is effective in preventing excess fat accumulation within the body. However, once the subject's body fat percentage drops below 40%, her body no longer secretes the enzyme. The trigger for this change is unknown. Potential business plan. Market the enzyme as a diet, food product, or medicine, especially when administered under strict medical protocols. The enzyme should be effective in markedly reducing body fat without need for surgery. Remarks. Planned 24-hour observation of the subject for a 10-year period underway. The reason that hypersustenance chiriase is no longer secreted after body fat drops below 40% to be discerned as soon as possible. From this paperwork, it is evident that one of Japan's leading pharmaceutical companies is carrying out surveillance of private individuals in secret. Is this constitutional? Does Japan have a document that is referred to as a constitution? The contents of the second page are even more shocking. Behavioral inducement proposal. Overview. Chiri is to have her dietary and exercise habits engineered. Goal. Maintain her weight above 40% body fat. Reasoning. According to recent measurements, the subject's body weight is trending downward. The cause of this trend has been established as the subject's growing attention to her own diet. It has also been confirmed that the subject has taken massive doses of the dietary supplement Burning Hammer. This could lead to substantial delays in research into hypersustenance chiriase. Methods. Further discussion is required to assess ongoing behavioral adjustment methods, but the following have been approved on a temporary basis. In addition, other methods, once deemed effective, should be deployed without delay. There is no upper limit on our expenses. Wow! Given the urgent nature of the situation, progress reports shall be issued directly to the project supervisor. Example. Entice confectionery store operated by 5-star patissier to open shop in subject's neighborhood, Tomigaya. Sponsor food products with excessive amounts of fat and sugar in the guise of product samples. Provide financial support for, or open additional franchises of, restaurants touting, eat X servings and your meal is free. This is freaking extreme, man. Hey there, Dodota. Host an eating contest. There it is! Remarks. As a full assessment of hypersustenance has yet to be completed, any hindrances to further research must be eliminated. We have also received reports that competing companies are aware of the subject's unique characteristics. Hey there, Joshua. Given the 10 years our company has already spent on the discovery of the subject and research into her unique physiology, the subject must be prevented from weight loss by any means necessary. We must attain a monopoly on hypersustenance chiriase. This is freaking creepy. These are the contents of the 2 pages. Perhaps it's not mere happenstance that a number of tasty restaurants have popped up around Tomigaya recently. Wow, so her existence is kind of a conspiracy? And free food samples are frequently available there, often given out right on the street. There are regular eating competitions held in Shibuya too, and the number of all-you-can-eat restaurants has been expanding. Maybe it's all just part of a plan by Okushi Pharmaceutical to research a young woman named Chiriko Osugi. That's freaking dumb. Did you enjoy our tale of Okushi Pharmaceutical's mysterious plan? If you're still hungry for more, we've got some new info for you. In Achi's story, during the 13 o'clock time block, a cat creeps into the dark storehouse. Try taking a close look at that scene. Keep those eyes peeled, and see you next time. This game is bizarre, man. There are 3 more quiz questions, but then there are all those additional episodes. Question 9, baby. Frank belonged to this section of the Chicago Police Department. It was the bomb disposal, right? There we go, the Bomb and Arson Squad. Easy every time. Just cuts to our freaking cat. Oh wow, Koji Kuze. Huh? What was that? Koji Kuze, sitting in his private study, furrowed his brow. The look on his face was much like the one he wore when he made an appeal to Task Force HQ. But his gaze was fixed on his video camera's LCD display. There was his son, Tatsuya, standing on third base giving a triumphant fist pump. Huh, that's odd. He rewound the videotape a little. Kuze had purchased a video camera to record the tournament his son had competed in. It was able to take footage at full HD with 5.1 channel audio. With a trembling finger, Kuze pressed the play button. The footage started playback right at the point where his son hit the ball up between right and center field. That's it, kiddo. Run, run! Kuze really had heard it. Whose voice, wrong whose by the way, whose voice was that? Someone alongside him had been murmuring the words as he filmed. Go on and run until your heart gives out, sport. But there hadn't been anyone nearby who spoke in such an excitable, childish register. Oh, is Kuze not aware of his own voice when he gets into that mode? That'd be amazing. Otherwise, he'd have known right away who the strange voice belonged to. Whom? In the video footage, his son rounded second base. Attaboy, Tats! Keep running! Head for third, champ! The unsettling voice was even louder now. And that Tats in there, it sounded oddly familiar. Just who the heck was this weirdo giving cutesy nicknames to his son? You did it, Tats! Woohoo! Yeah, that's my boy! Huh? My boy? So then that means... Kuze swallowed, his mouth suddenly dry. No, it can't be. That's my voice? So he's been doing this, like, in the police force this whole time. Did he just never know? Do I really talk like that? Kuze was flabbergasted. No, my voice can't sound that way. The video camera began to shake in his hands. For the first time in his life, Kuze had been made aware of the childish squeaking he made when he got excited. To hell with this! He lifted the camera high above his head, but before he could hurl it against the floor, he reconsidered. No, he couldn't do it. His son's accomplishments were stored inside that camera. Still, he needed to make sure no one found out about his verbal affectation. If his son heard him sounding like this, Kuze would lose every shred of dignity he had as a father. Good night, Joshua. What should he do? Was there some way he could erase his voice from the tape? He thought desperately for a way. Maybe he could mask it with other sounds in editing. No, that wouldn't work. If he wiped away the crack of the bat and the cheering of the crowd and replaced it with a musical soundtrack, it would still be pretty awkward. Ooh, I don't know what to do! Kuze slumped down on the floor, buried his face in a cushion, and kicked his legs up and down. Really? At this point, they have to take the footage to one of the forensics researchers to see if they could do something with it. Hey there, Nicholas. There'd be disciplinary measures for misuse of lab time if he ever got found out, but risking that was better than letting people discover that he sounded like a hyperactive 12-year-old when he got worked up. Suddenly, the door opened. Dad, let me see that video. Kuze's son strolled into the study. No, I can't do that. Why not? Well, there's this voice. He tried to hide the camera as he rambled. A voice? Ah, that's no big deal. Kuze blinked his eyes in disbelief at his son's words. I came in here earlier and watched part of the footage already. Kuze's jaw dropped. Tatsuya, so then you heard the voice? What voice are you talking about? This time it was his son who blinked his eyes in confusion. Well, so, there's this pretty childish voice. Kuze's son broke out chuckling. Wait, Dad, did you seriously not realize that voice was yours? Huh? Dad, if you're worried about how you sound like a kid sometimes, everyone's known that for a long while. Kuze's jaw gaped even wider. Oh, come on, Tats, you gotta tell me this sort of thing sooner. Alright. Did you enjoy our... Did you enjoy our charming little look at the daily life of father and son? Well then, we've got an exciting little clue for you, kiddo! In Osawa's story, during the 14 o'clock time block, Osawa imagines what might happen if the virus spreads through Shibuya. There's an odd command hidden in his imagination there. See you next time. This game is insane, man. There's only 2 more pop quiz questions, then it's just finding the special episodes. Question number 10. This person called Maria Osawa at 1957. At the very end? So, what was it, Kanan? Yeah, it was Kanan. Hey, I was right. What? Oh, I spelled it wrong. How do we go back? It was 1A, then 2 A's. Yay! Hello there, Beta Brian. Ah, nice. Koichiro Katayama. It was coming up on 12 o'clock noon, the hour of the devil. The particular devil known to the support center staff as K. The incoming call light on my phone flashed. I gulped reflexively. Then, taking a deep breath, I hesitantly pressed the Accept Call button. Thank you for calling Chun Food Service Center. This is Tanabe speaking. This is Katayama from Cho Nippon Printing. I had to swallow back the squeak that tried to rise in my throat. I'd been right on the mark. The phone call was from K indeed. Hello, he asked. Yes, how may I help you today? I'm calling about your instant ramen. Salt and chivalry? This again? I sighed inwardly. Katayama had been calling me about the same thing for close to an entire year now. Katayama. Man, this guy's such a freaking troll. You hardly needed to bother listening to know what he had to say. Why was my ramen still not finished after steeping in hot water for 3 minutes? The noodles were still too hard to be edible. I'm very sorry to hear that, sir. My response was right out of the manual. Would you be able to provide some more details, sir? I continued. I called about this same thing just last week. Did you? My apologies, sir. I tried to keep my voice as chipper as possible. Dealing with Katayama was a nuisance. He was a man driven by logic. Treating him the wrong way could lead to disaster. Some of the staff here had wound up listening to his matter-of-fact complaints for upwards of 12 hours, passing out with their phones still in their hands. Very well. For the sake of accuracy, I suppose I ought to explain again, Katayama said. If you would, sir. First, I peel open the lid. I tear open the seasoning packet and powdered soup base and sprinkle them onto the noodles. I add the hot water, close the lid, and wait 3 minutes. But the noodles are still far too hard. This was a familiar sequence of events. I had heard it before. Begging your pardon, sir, but are you perhaps beginning to eat before 3 minutes have passed? Certainly not. I wait 3 minutes exactly. Are you checking a clock when you do this? Yes. My body's internal clock tells me it's been precisely 3 minutes. Oh my god! Is this how Katayama gets his watch? 'Cause his internal clock is wrong? The urge to ask him if he was messing with me grew. Sir, perhaps instead of your internal clock, you might want to try using a clock in your home that you have on hand. I have a personal policy not to use clocks or watches outside of my work. Outside of my work, really? As I had done before, I fought off the urge to tell him what a ridiculous policy that is. I'm sure it wouldn't hurt just once. Perhaps you should try using an actual clock to track the time, sir. My body's internal clock is accurate. A 3-minute unit of time is not something I would mistake. No. Clearly, you would. You are! You have to be! I wanted to scream. If the product is not properly ready to eat in 3 minutes, that makes it defective. If it were possible, I would have liked to stick my head through the receiver and watch Katayama's 3-minute timing myself. I imagine the lecture I'd give him when he started eating before 3 actual minutes passed. Then, in my frustration, I had a sudden idea. Sir, perhaps we could check your internal clock against my clock here and test whether there's any discrepancy. Pretty good idea, if I do say so myself. If that will convince you of my claims, then no, I do not mind. Yes! It was time to make this guy eat crow. If there is no discrepancy, however, I expect a proper apology. Now I felt like I'd stirred up a potential hornet's nest. What the hell. There was no way this guy's internal clock could measure 3 minutes on the dot. Alright then, sir, let's begin. I picked up the stopwatch that was on my desk. Internal clock diagnostic. This may be sudden, but here we're going to see how accurate your internal clock is. Exactly 20 seconds after you press the button, a message saying 20 seconds have elapsed will appear on the screen. How precisely can you judge a 20-second interval? Alright, let's begin. Please press the button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I was a little off. Okay, 20 seconds have elapsed. How did you do? Was your body's internal clock accurate? It wasn't bad. I stare in astonishment at my stopwatch. Well, Katayama asked, his voice composed. 3 minutes, 3 minutes exactly, sir. Not a second off. It was impossible. I was trembling. So, now do you believe me? My apologies, sir. I hung my head in defeat and heard a stifled chuckle from the other end of the line. Tell your supervisor that your product is defective. And that's when it began. The folks at Shun Foods' product development department began to work on a secret project. The project's name? Anti-K. Based on Katayama's incessant calls, a reworked version of Salt and Chivalry was created. The new label the team had devised listed an adjustable times based on noodle thickness and desired texture. 2 minutes for hard-boiled or thin noodles, 3 minutes for standard, 4 minutes for soft or thick noodles. That ought to shut Katayama up. The product development team was proud of its creation. Of course, even after the new version of Salt and Chivalry was released, Katayama wound up calling to complain again, but that's another story for another time. Pain in the ass. Did you enjoy our tale of the cutthroat, behind-the-scenes world of product development? Now it's time to give you some choice information. That's just common decency. In Achi's story in the 14 o'clock time block, there's a scene inside Gigo where Achi takes a punch from a debt collector. Take a good hard look right before that scene and see what happens. Keep your eyes peeled and see you next time. Ladies and gentlemen, there is only one more pop quiz question. Of course, there are still 11 more secret episodes after these 11 episodes, but you gotta find those. No pop quiz for us. Number 11 is a toughie. This method was used to crack the laboratory password. Ooh, it's not brute force. I forgot what it was called, so I'm gonna cheat. Side channel. I forgot about that. Alright. Hey! First try every time. Suguru Makino. Oh, Osawa's boss. His life was one of conflict. Playing factions against each other, crafting subtle interpersonal manipulations, he had done whatever was necessary to rise up within his company. He had even deceived close colleagues and sold out superiors who had helped him on the way up. By winning victory after victory on his chosen battlefield, he had managed to become corporate director at Okoshi Pharmaceutical. But he still needed to remain alert. If he let his guard down, he'd soon lose his position to the next guy who came along. To keep his finger on the pulse of industry politics, he always made a point of putting in an appearance at functions he was otherwise disinclined to attend. Executive Director Makino, you simply must come along with me to this place I found. It's got a bunch of cuties I'm sure you'll be smitten with. On this particular occasion, Makino's companion was a fellow who became a real nuisance once he got some liquor in him. The director's wordless reply was a simple, deep furrowing of the brow. Oh no, Mr. Makino, don't worry. I know you detest that sort of thing, I really do. But this isn't going to be like that. It won't be like what? Even after drinking heavily, Makino never lost his composure. Damn. But he learned early in his career that acting drunker than he was often led to gleaning valuable information, so he let himself sway a bit as he spoke. Damn. Well, why not come with the understanding that you'll be surprised? I promise you, sir, you will not regret it. Makino had half a mind to spit in the guy's drunken face in hopes it would shock some sense into him. Nonetheless, he was interested in the technology the man's company possessed. Like it or not, he was along for the ride. Well, if you put it that way... Hey, taxi! The man called out, without waiting for Makino to finish his reply. A cab promptly stopped to pick them up. Makino had assumed they'd be heading to some popular hotspot like Ginza or Roppongi, but instead his companion directed the cab toward the suburbs. Aha! And here we are! Makino was dumbfounded by the sight of their destination. They got out of the car in front of a dingy, multi-tenant building with no signage out front. Surely he hadn't been brought someplace illegal. With a wary eye, he looked over at his companion. Don't worry about it, I'm sure you'll like this place. Hey there, Danish. The man opened the door. Peering cautiously inside, Makino blinked in disbelief. What the hell? The interior design scheme was typical of an upscale cafe. Aside from the fact that there were cats all over the place. Oh, a cat cafe. What is this place? This is the cat cafe, meow meow, the man replied proudly. The cat cafe? Meow meow? Makino echoed the words reflexively as he tried to process what he was seeing. Isn't it cute? The man beamed broadly. Oh. Oh my. So he wasn't kidding. A bunch of cuties. Makino felt a big, bright smile coming on. No, no, he mustn't! He quickly suppressed the urge. Makino was extremely fond of cats. Due to his wife's allergies, however, he hadn't been able to keep one of his own. Director Makino, is this not really your thing? The man had taken hold of one of the chubby cat's forepaws, posing the feline like a Lucky Cat statue. Aw, nice! No, I certainly don't dislike it. Makino managed to keep his poker face up. May I ask how you knew I liked cats? I saw the framed photo of a cat that you have in your office. Ah, I see. That silly old thing. Still maintaining his aura of calm, Makino stroked a fluffy calico's back. No, not like that, Mr. Makino. You need to pet more gently, and they like it when you rub them underneath the chin. I am well aware of that. Makino suppressed his initial response and instead offered a curt, ah, alright. Scritch. Rub rub. Scritch. Rub rub. The calico let out a throaty hum of contentment as Makino's fingers got busy under its chin. It was so cute. Too cute. Makino had half a mind to get down on the floor and start rolling around. Pardon us. Two young men, seemingly the managers, approached, taking care not to tread on any of the cats. The special course you requested is ready. Let's go, Mr. Makino. Makino's companion joyfully hopped to his feet. What is this special course? It's a secret. You might get a little dirty, so take off whatever clothes you can. What? Take off my clothes? What for? What in the world are you planning on doing with these cats? Makino felt an unsettling mix of anticipation and unease. Hesitantly, he followed the others into a tiny private room. Just step inside and feel free to lie down and relax. With that, the managers departed. As per his companion's instructions, Makino stripped down to his briefs and tank top. Is this just going to be a million cats, like, walking all over you? Because that'll kind of be the best. After flopping down on the floor, he could hear excited voices coming from the room next door. Ah, yes, amazing! Wait, what? Was the whole cat cafe thing just a front for some licentious backroom business? Had he been tricked? He needed to get his clothes back on right away. Sorry to keep you waiting. Abruptly the door opens and one of the managers poked his head in. Let's begin! This may be a bit ticklish, but please try to relax as much as possible and don't move too much. The manager gently set the cat he was holding atop Makino's abdomen. Oh my god, the best. Huh? Then another on his chest. One at the crook of his arm, then one on each thigh. Wait, so then this is... Yes! It's every cat lover's dream! The manager grinned brightly. This is the special course, the cat futon. But before he knew it, Makino's entire body was engulfed in more cats than he could count. Ah! A joyful sigh escaped his lips. Now, finally, Makino knew who he truly was. Conflict was never what he truly wished for. He wanted something fluffier, softer, warmer. This is heaven. Everything I've ever wanted is right here. Makino was enraptured. The cats on top of him occasionally milled about, purring and shifting position. Whenever they did, Makino would let out a tiny little breath tinged with pleasure. Oh, kitty, kitty, kitty. Suguru Makino, age 59, Executive Director of Okoshi Pharmaceutical, a man who had enemies both inside and outside his company, a man who sometimes contended with the nation itself. Hobbies include the cat futon. This game's too good. Oh my god. Did you enjoy our tale of a corporate warrior taking a little break? Well, I can't believe they didn't use catnap. Well, here's some information for you because you're about to work some overtime. In Suzune's story, really? During their first meeting, a nervous Takuya inquires whether he can ask her name. See what happens if you hold off replying for a bit. We'll keep things on hold for you until then. See you next time! Oh man, this game's too good. And that's it for the quiz, right? You've cleared all game content! Oh, I just have to go back. We did it! Okay, so, chat. I have a choice for you to make. Should I go hunting for bad ends, or should I go hunting for more of these little episodic stories? What's it gonna be? Secret little episodes like the ones we've just been doing? Or bad ends, working our way up from earlier in the day toward the end of the game? What's it gonna be? I leave it to you to decide. Who would have guessed that Makino's fate would be so cute? I may as well load the game, though, because whatever you do choose is going to be within the main story. And we're in. Okay, we have 1 vote for more side stories. 2, 3 people for more, 4 people. Hello there, Cypher. 4 people for more secret stories. 5. 6. My god, you guys are steamrolling this. Alright, okay. Special episodes, we're doing it. So how do I do this? Special episode 12. Okay, so, first thing we're gonna do. We're gonna go to Osawa. And I'm gonna have to scroll way back up, I'm afraid. I apologize for the dizziness here. 12:30. What? I don't know how this is going to translate to a PS4, but I'll try this. I'll just go in with frustrations. This is a secret indeed. I'm just going to read through this like normal until I find a particular piece of dialogue. Kajiwara. Okay, I think this is the part. Okay. Oh my. Is that really all you have to say, sir? Right, escape, right. There we go. I put in a push-button code. Right, circle, right. So now we're just in. Special episode. Kajiwara, ladies and gentlemen! Best cop. Kajiwara looked across the interrogation room table at the robbery suspect who sat opposite. Please, the detective said, all I ask is that you tell me what you know. What's in it for me if I do? The suspect leaned back in his seat and crossed his arms, a smug look on his face. A casual observer glancing into the door would have had trouble deciding who was interrogating whom. A less experienced detective would probably have blown a fuse. What's in it for you, Kajiwara remained as detached as ever. Over years of interrogation practice, he developed a laid-back, low-pressure style. No kidding. Well, if you don't give me anything, I'm just going to have to keep talking. By now, their back and forth had been going on for quite some time. Kajiwara stole a glance at his wristwatch. It was after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I know you didn't have lunch, so I bet you're hungry. Here, eat up. The detective produced a deep-fried curry bun from his pocket. The man eyed it dubiously. Would you prefer a banana? Asked Kajiwara. The man cracked a faint smile as he accepted the curry bun. You sure it's okay doing this? Why wouldn't it be? Isn't this an under-the-table bribe to get me to incriminate myself? What if I testify in court that I was coerced into giving a confession? Then I'll bill you for the curry bun. With tax, it comes to 280 yen. The suspect was taken aback. 280 yen? Isn't that kind of expensive? They're handmade from my favorite bakery. Waited in line myself to buy them this morning. Kajiwara took another curry bun from his pocket for himself. The two ate in silence, a temporary cessation of hostilities. Need something to drink? The detective produced a carton of milk. A carton of milk from his pocket. What? How? I hate milk. Gives me indigestion. I see. Kajiwara reached back into his pocket, this time pulling out a cup. Get the hell out. Whoa, hey, hold up. The man's expression turned quizzical. What is this? It's a vessel you use for drinking beverages. No, I know what a cup is. Kajiwara pulled the teapot out of his pocket. This is absurd. It was filled with... What? It was filled with scalding hot black tea? Is Kajiwara a cartoon? This shouldn't upset your stomach. Go on, have a cup. Seriously, hold on. Oh, are you not familiar with black tea either? No, that's not it. The man slammed his hands on the table and glared back at Kajiwara. What the hell's with your pockets? How much stuff do you have packed in there? How much? Shall we see? Kajiwara reached a hand into a pocket. He proceeded to pull out a comb, a handheld video game, some rice crackers, a screwdriver, a folding umbrella, what? A stuffed Tama plush. Ha. Wait! The man waved his arms in agitation. How the heck do you have so much stuff in there? It's quite convenient, really. That's not the point, the man shouted. The interrogation room door opened and another policeman stuck his head in. Detective Kajiwara, may I have a moment? From the look on the other officer's face, Kajiwara surmised at once what was going on. There was a new case. He stepped out of the briefing room and his colleague explained the situation. We've received a tip-off that a wanted individual has checked into Shibuya Central Hospital under an assumed name. Leaving the robbery suspect to another detective, Kajiwara prepared to head to the scene. When he got to the motor pool, however, he found that all the squad cars had been taken out. Without much other choice, he hopped onto a bicycle. Oh, really? He doesn't pull a police car out of his pocket? He took a rotating police light from his pocket and set it in the vice basket. You never know when you might need one of those. Then he pedaled away at top speed. Upon arriving at the hospital, Kajiwara hurried into the lobby. He scanned the area looking for the suspect. The individual in question was 180 centimeters tall, weighed 90 kilos, and had a big scar near one eye. Kajiwara recalled hearing that he was a former rugby player. His colleague Detective Kano had been a rugby player too. From what Kajiwara had seen, most rugby players were quite physically capable. This arrest required some finesse. Aha! The detective nearly voiced his surprise out loud. A large-statured man was sitting on one of the sofas in the lobby. Surely Kajiwara couldn't have gotten so lucky right off the bat. He quietly approached and peered at the man's face. The fellow had a big scar near his eye. There was no doubt about it. This was the wanted man. "Excuse me," Kajiwara said calmly. The suspect started, then lunged forward and gave him a powerful shove. The man was even stronger than Kajiwara had imagined. The detective went sprawling onto the lobby floor. The man took off running. He was remarkably quick for someone who was supposed to be sick. Once he made it outside, he snatched Kajiwara's bicycle and zoomed away. Damn it! The detective pulled a skateboard from his pocket and went after him. The culprit took a look back over his shoulder. His jaw dropped in astonishment. No kidding! He sped into a nearby parking garage. Evidently, he had some sort of remote control because a shutter dropped down to close the entrance behind him. What the heck? Taking a chainsaw from his pocket, Kajiwara cut through the steel shutter like it was paper. When he stepped inside, he saw that the suspect was taking the elevator to the rooftop. By the time Kajiwara reached the rooftop himself, the man had hopped over the guard fence and left to the building next door. The crook grinned at him, his face flushed with triumph. There was a good 6-meter gap between the buildings. Kajiwara would never be able to make that jump. Aha! I've got just the thing. From his pocket, the detective pulled a long rope with a grappling hook on one end. Hurdling the hook with all his strength, he hooked it to the fence of the adjoining building. Yeah! Unleashing a battle cry, the detective jumped and swung to the next building. The suspect was dumbstruck as Kajiwara stood before him. I think that's enough of this little game of tag, Kajiwara said. But there was still a glint of defiance in the criminal's eyes. He crouched low, shoulders hunched and arms at the ready. It looked like he was going to launch into a rugby tackle. Kajiwara couldn't stand up to a head-on charge from someone that big. He might well go careening over the edge of the roof to splatter on the concrete far below. Should he dodge aside then? No, if this guy was a rugby player, then that would be no easy feat. The culprit stared him down, then began to rush forward. Dodging wasn't an option. Neither was bearing the brunt of the impact, which left only one thing. Aha! Kajiwara pulled a hose from his pocket. It was the kind used by fire engines, 50 millimeters in diameter. He has a fire hose in his pocket. Take this! Just before the criminal could land the tackle, the limp hose suddenly plumped up. A massive torrent of water gushed forth? Even with pocket space, that is impossible. That is impossible. The burly man was blasted backward as if he were an empty paper bag. How did Kajiwara not shoot himself off the building with the pressure of a frickin' fire hose? There's more where that came from. Kajiwara continues to unload water on the man, battering him into unconsciousness. God, thank God he's on our side. Then he looked down at the culprit lying there on the rooftop and quietly shook his head. If you hadn't tried to resist, none of this would have been necessary. Kajiwara himself was drenched head to toe with water. He reached into his pocket for his handkerchief. His hand stopped. Kajiwara sighed and shook his head. Of all the days to forget his handkerchief. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, that's pretty good. I think my favorite part is probably the skateboard. That is way too stupid. He pulls out a skateboard and just rides it. Oh, man. Oh, man. Worth it. God, that was precious. Alright. Next special episode, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god, that was amazing. Oh. Okay, Maria. I think it's this. Want me to handle it? I feel a little bit guilty. Uh-huh. Hooray! Giant costume. Okay, here we go. Push button code time. Right, circle, circle, circle. Right, right. Did it. Masamichi Fukuma. Who was this? Crunch, crunch. Was this the costume guy? Crunch, 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 crunch. Masamichi Fukuma sits on a cardboard box nibbling away at some rice crackers. Crunch, crunch. Crunch, 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 crunch. Fukuma is in charge of making deliveries for a costume rental company. Once he gets an ordered item to its destination, his job is pretty much done. Today, his mouth is on autopilot as he stares at the big screen TV in the office. Oh, that guy! The one that Achi had to sweet-talk past. The afternoon variety show is doing a feature on the big revival concert for legendary hard rock band Z Japonica. Oh! Fukuma lets out a big yawn. There's nothing interesting in the way of news, either. He considers pretending that he has another delivery and taking the company vehicle over by Aoyama Cemetery where he could sneak a quick nap. Suddenly the door to the room swings open. Bounding through it comes a pink rabbit. Fukuma quickly stands at attention. He does this because he's afraid that the rabbit is his father. Typical. His father owns the rental company and has recently grown... No, he is the costume guy. His father owns the rental company and has recently grown so fond of mascot costumes that he's rarely seen outside of his rabbit suit. Most of his employees don't even know what he actually looks like. Whew, sorry I'm late. A woman's voice emerges from the rabbit's mouth, panting raspily. Now that Fukuma has calmed down enough to process things, he recalls that his father's costume is brown. It's a wild rabbit. The pink bunny costume is one the company has on hand for rental. Fukuma lets out a sigh of relief. I'm here to return this. The rabbit squirms in an attempt to remove her head, but she can't quite reach the fasteners. Here, let me help you with that. Fukuma gives her a hand and tugs the head off by the ears. The head pops off, revealing the attractive, slightly ruddy face of a young woman. Her hair is done up and beads of sweat run down her neck. Thank you so much, that's a huge help. The pink rabbit with the girl's face smiles. Fukuma swallows. His heart skips a beat. She's perfect. Part rabbit, part human? I'm supposed to have this back by 5 p.m. Is that still okay? Fukuma checks the clock on the wall. It's coming up on 5 o'clock exactly. Yes, that's quite all right. If you could just take the costume off now? Oh, good. Relief shows on the woman's face, then just as quickly vanishes. Oh, she says in dismay. Wait, no. What's the matter? The woman looks away. The suit's really hot, so I'm not wearing a whole lot underneath. Not wearing a lot. A flurry of appealing images rushed through Fukuma's head. I'm sorry to ask, but is there a room someplace I could use to get changed? Of course, yes, a room. I can show you to a room. Shyly, Fukuma leads the young woman to a spare room. Once you're done changing, just let me know. He gently shuts the door and then starts to head off. Oomph. A groan of discomfort stops Fukuma in his tracks. Right now, the only ones in the office are him and this young woman. He presses his ear to the door and hears the sound of a zipper being pulled down. Oh, my arms. He can hear her squirming her way free of the body piece. The arms are always the toughest part when you're new to the things. He imagines her twisting her body this way and that as she strains against the costume. Fukuma's breath quickens. Okay, let's just... Whoa! The sound of a piece of furniture being knocked over comes through the door. Are you alright, miss? Fukuma calls out hurriedly. Sorry, I just tripped. Are you hurt? I'm okay. This thing's just really hard to get off. My sweat has the fabric all stuck to my skin. Stuck to her skin with sweat? Such simple words to fiercely entice a man's fantasies. So, what should I do? She asked meekly. What should I do? What does come next? Fukuma's fantasies run all the more wild. This guy's face is perfect for this. That, like, just doofy, like... I don't know. I'm sorry, it's really awkward to have to ask this, but would you mind coming in here? There it is. Her idea, not mine. Yes. Yes, yes. Yes, of course he'll head on in. Carefully, Fukuma opens the door. The woman stands there, the rabbit suit halfway off. Her slender shoulders are exposed beneath her frowning face. He also notices that she's rather well endowed, given her slender frame. I'm sorry, I think the slipper along the back is snagged on the fabric. It won't come down. The woman turns to show her back. Her smooth, pale skin glows. Her sweat glistens in the light. Would you mind giving me a hand with this? Uh-huh. Fukuma's voice spikes unintentionally like freaking Pimple-Face Kid from The Simpsons. Uh-huh! The woman quickly whirls around. She draws her hands up to her chest. He can't take his eyes off her cleavage. Hey now, just where are you looking? No, I'm not. I'm not looking at anything. Fukuma forces himself to cover his eyes with a hand. Peeking between his fingers, he gets a glimpse of her face, red with anger. It's okay, he assures her. I know where everything is, even with my eyes closed. All right, if you'd be so kind, then. At last, she seems relieved. She turns to face the window, again presenting her back. Now's my chance. Fukuma's eyes snap back open, and he drinks in the sight of the young woman's back. You're not looking, are you? No, of course not. I could see your eyes are open in the reflection in the window. Sorry. This time Fukuma really does close his eyes, and begins groping forward in search for the zipper. Hey, watch your hands. Sorry, just trying to feel my way around. My back is just really sensitive. Man is a troubled animal. Simply hearing that her back is sensitive has his blood pressure spiking to the roof again. God damn, dude. Frickin' get a date with someone or anything. His hands shake with excitement, and somehow his arms get lodged inside the suit. Oh, man. Are we gonna need, like, his dad to get them both out of the suit? Eek! Sorry. Her bare skin is slick with sweat and wonderfully smooth. It's been many years now since Fukuma has last had a girlfriend. I can't imagine why. He feels like his mind might short-circuit out of joy and excitement. He shouldn't do this. He has to calm down. This is work. He needs to be professional. This time, for sure, Fukuma vows to himself. Yeep! The woman drops down as if weak in the knees. She then proceeds to shuffle away from Fukuma. Oh, this is bad. This time it's real bad. Her posture has made the curves of her backside visible. She draws on all fours toward the wall in an attempt to get away. That wasn't on purpose, Fukuma pleads. Seeing that she isn't listening, he steps in front of her, spreading his arms wide to bar her way. The first time my hands slipped because of the sweat, and I made sure to try to be more careful the next time, and look, it's the zipper's fault. Yeah, for real, Winterburn. Like, I'm waiting for the dad to come in, because this is getting, like, uncomfortable. Hey! Abruptly, the door swings open. Standing there is a wild rabbit. Dad? To Fukuma, the rabbit's long ears look like the devil's horns. The creature marches slowly into the office. It's just a costume, but somehow its fur appears to stand angrily on end. Fukuma needs an excuse. He needs an excuse and fast. It's not what it looks like. I was just trying to help her get it off and... He doesn't get to finish his sentence. The rabbit swings his fist with all the might of the King of Beasts. Whoa! By the way, Kaido is possibly the strongest character in One Piece. Just thought I'd throw that one out there. That's how it ends. A giant wild rabbit comes in and punches him in the face. That's so stupid. Take that, you freaking dork. Oh, hey, there's music in this game. So that was that special episode. Next one. I think these are all push-button codes. Kano, 1525. Hit me. without a word, kind of threw a punch. That stock sound. Just let it go. Keep going. There it is. Okay. Right circle. Right circle. First try every time. Rumi Kudo. Oh my god! She doesn't have a face except for in that blooper reel or behind the scenes reel. Special episode? I'm not sure I get what you mean by special, but you're not sharing a bunch of half-truths about my daughter with anyone. Ah, nice, Shizuo. The end. That's amazing! Oh, damn, okay. Well, that's what I'd like to say, but you've worked too hard trying to find this thing, so it'd be rude to leave you with just that. My name is Shizuo Kudo. Rumi is my only daughter. Maybe it's presumptuous of me to brag, but today, let me talk a little bit about her. I won't mince words. Rumi is beautiful. After we walked around Shibuya together today, I feel that more strongly than ever. All the other women out in the street make my Rumi look even more dazzling by comparison. That's how much her good looks stand out in a crowd. There's no end to the trouble that comes your way when you have a daughter that gorgeous. You never know where or when some low-life boyfriend might latch onto her. Still, using the techniques I fostered during my police days, keeping tabs on Rumi's daily activities isn't too difficult. When she heads someplace even slightly dangerous, I make sure to tail her from a distance in order to keep a watchful eye on her. When work doesn't let me do that, I have one of my off-duty colleagues go in my stead. Let me tell you about what happened one summer several years ago. At the time, Rumi was in high school, and she told me she was going to a fireworks festival with her friends. There were going to be tens of thousands of people at the festival. Tailing her in a crowd that size would likely be impossible. And so, I entered a bid to be the person in charge of security for the event. I drafted up a high-level security plan and got to head things up on site the day of. Thanks to that, the event went off without a hitch, and I was able to keep my Rumi completely safe. I may have gone way over the security budget, but what else was I supposed to do when my daughter's safety was at stake? No doubt there are some people who think that I go too far in my actions. And to those people, let me just make one thing abundantly clear. I most certainly do not go too far. In fact, if you saw how lovely Rumi is, you'd probably think I wasn't going far enough. And I'm not saying that with any parental bias or anything either. I'll have you know that Rumi was chosen as Midoriyama Academy's Miss Midoriyama, too. And I didn't have any part in making that happen. I did consider orchestrating things ahead of time, but I didn't have any connections with the Ministry of Education, so that wasn't an option. Jeez, this freaking guy. My point is, I've put my strongest efforts into taking care of my daughter. I have loved her uncompromisingly. And yet, I need to accept that someday she'll leave the nest. The problem is that the guy she fell for is a detective. That was my blind spot. I never considered that Rumi might fall in love with a detective. Choosing a civil servant as a marriage prospect is all well and good. Still, if he's going to be a civil servant, he should be anything but a detective. Lately, though, my insistence on that point has been starting to waver. After the long years I spent working as a detective, I can tell what my girl is really thinking, with every word, every little change in expression. Rumi's feelings for her boyfriend are the real deal. She loves him from the bottom of her heart, and he's very dear to her. Maybe she even loves him more than her own father. He's the man Rumi chose. He's probably got his act together, too. The fact that he's a detective still bothers me, but I can't deny my daughter her happiness forever. When I think about how she feels, I wonder if I should let her marry him. But I'm a stubborn man. I've been opposed to their getting married this whole time. My body language says it clearly enough. No detectives. And if that alone is enough to make a guy back down, well, if that's the case, then good riddance. I can introduce Rumi to a fine civil servant who isn't a detective instead. Maybe in about 10 years or so. That's how it ends. Jeez, this guy's intense. This freaking dad. Unreal. But at least he admits he's starting to waver. Alright. Next episode. Norikawa. Should I tell them? Option B. Now I go to Achi. Oh, that's Kano. I scared myself. To the surveillance room. I love how I actually have to pick a bad end for this. Keep going. I don't know, am I missing something? I'll see where this goes. Jeez, that guy just appeared. It's supposed to be at ... I wonder if I need to unlock the proper, like, it's not this, is it? No, maybe not. Ah, that's brutal. It's supposed to be just at ... I'm looking for a button combination. Is that just it? Bad end? Ugh. That's no good then. I guess I'm gonna have to see if I could find a way to make this this timeline right. So how do I do that? 15 o'clock to 16 o'clock. Well, those are bad ends. How do I actually beat the level? How frustrating. Let's see, 15 to 16 o'clock. Route guideline. Now, those are bad ends. I don't want that. Completing the time block. Maybe this is it. So Achi is supposed to be 15:15, but I can't go there right now. Maria? What does Maria need to do? Let's try that. That's not gonna help. Oh, what a freaking pain. Let's try this. Minarakawa, 15:30. I can't even go past this either. I am clearly missing something. Achi's stuck. Damn. What is the proper thing for this? That's the normal end. That's not going to help me. I'm going to have to double check my freaking options. What a nuisance. If I could do this right. Where's the regular? I see bad end stuff, but I'm looking for particularly just the completion of the time block, if I could find it. I see route guidelines. Those are bad ends, but I don't care about that. Route guidelines, route guidelines, route guidelines. Oh well, I guess I'll just have to choose alternate options, which is a pain. Oh, the hit me? Yeah, I wonder if it was Kano's thing, although it probably wasn't. But I'll do the other hit me option. There, did it. Yeah, it didn't really do anything. And there's just nothing I can do with Osawa except for, like, this stuff. But that's later. Maria was stuck with a bad end. What was up with that? No, I didn't do anything with this option. This shouldn't matter. The run with the gun, that shouldn't do anything. And Achi's just stuck, so it's gotta be Minorikawa. So I don't get it. Should I tell them? Select B. $15.05 to the surveillance room. I don't see any ... Unless it's like, oh no, ... I've been stabbed. Ah, damn it. I think I'm just gonna have to read this. It's just bugging me. Oh no, I might have found my problem. So let's go to Minorikawa. A boy and girl running. Oh wait, no, at 15 o'clock. There. Yeah, should I tell them? I just want to make sure I have this right. Yeah, he'd agreed to take on responsibility. Good. Now I go to Achi. 15:05. Surveillance room. Okay, rather than head directly for the surveillance building. Good. Okay, this'll do it. Sorry about that horribly traumatic bad end. Member of the thugs or whatever, it's fine. Let's go. Okay, did it. Got it. I did it, ladies and gentlemen. Hey there, Nicholas. Oh yeah, this is rather entertaining. Ryoko. Oh yeah, the waitress. Ryoko Kakinuma. Her name may not ring a bell, but you might recognize her as one of the waitresses who works at the Café Lautrec. She's currently enrolled in the law school at Midoriyama Academy. Her hope for the future is, of course, to become a lawyer. Revisions to the bar exam have made that challenge a trifle easier, but it's still a tough obstacle to overcome. She practically studies in her sleep. Listening in on trials is one of Ryoko's hobbies. She takes the Tokyo Metro Hibiya line to the Kasumigaseki station, and then heads to the nearby court building to observe whatever's going on there. Ryoko is especially fond of the district court, which handles the first hearing in local cases. Trials can be quite interesting. They're like little dramas about human emotions and desires. But recently, in the course of her courtroom visits, Ryoko found herself with a new reason to be present. She'd caught sight of a man in the courtroom who utterly intrigued her. She wanted to approach him, wanted to talk to him, but it was never going to happen. Now then, shall we begin? His low, honeyed voice made Ryoko's heart melt. Would the defendant please come forward? The man who had so fascinated her was the presiding judge. His eyes glimmered with cool intellect, while his wild shock of hair hinted at a rugged individualism. Ryoko couldn't help it. She wanted to be closer to this man. But the judge's bench was so very far removed from the visitors' gallery. Oh, what can I possibly do to get near him? Should I sully my hands with some crime? If I did, he'd have to look me in the eyes as he rendered judgment. The more absurd Ryoko's fantasies grew, the more the judge consumed her thoughts. Today, as she waited for a court session to begin, she could think of nothing else. Ryoko sat in the visitors' gallery wearing a brightly patterned dress. Would he notice and find her change of style appealing? What if he thought it didn't suit her? She vacillated between getting worked up in a good way and in a bad way as she imagined him thinking one thing or the other. "You're always in here, aren't you?" Ryoko turned at the voice to see a group of middle-aged women gathered behind her. All of them had gaudily dyed hair and sported gold necklaces and rings. "And who might you be?" Ryoko asked, with some trepidation. "You made eye contact with him earlier, didn't you?" "Huh? Don't play dumb, we know the score." This wasn't making any sense. What are you talking about?" The women's faces abruptly turned sour. "You need permission from the boss first," one of them said. "Otherwise, how can we possibly maintain order?" "Look, I really don't know what you're getting at here. Could you explain from the beginning?" Ryoko asked. The women sighed in unison. "That's a newbie for you," said one. Now, we were all like that at first," said another. "Very well, I suppose. Allow me to explain." One of the women stepped in front of Ryoko. "We're groupies of the judges about to show off. That's amazing." Ryoko's eyes went wide. She'd never imagined that a judge could even have groupies. "But," the older woman continued, "if we simply do as we please, we'll be a nuisance to the poor man, when of course what we want is to be supportive." The other women nodded in agreement. "Yes, don't make the first move. Don't try to give him anything. Just look. But don't make too much eye contact. And no hogging him for yourself. We share him with everybody." That's just the basics of groupism. A normie like you coming along uninvited? Well, you'd best take care not to cause trouble. "Hello there, Adrian." Groupism? Normie? These were clearly jargon, but Ryoko had no idea what they might mean. Oh, come on. "Hey, are you even listening?" one of the women asked. "Yes, I am. Just sorry, I don't really understand the words you're using." Groupism is the practice of helping your fellow groupies. Normies means regular old normal people. "Oh, sure. I get it." Ryoko inclined her head. "So, what did you want with me?" "If you're going to be making eyes at that man, you need to be a member." What?" Ryoko may have indulged in some flights of fancy, but she was content simply to look. Being part of some group that came here to obsess over the judge sounded like a total nuisance. "I'll pass, thank you. I'm fine just looking at the guy by myself." The older woman fiercely narrowed their eyes. "I heard that. You just referred to His Honor as a guy." "I do believe that's in violation of Article 2 of the agreement." "The agreement that has been violated. Punishment must be meted out." Ryoko recoiled as the older woman flew into an uproar. "Look, ladies, your weird pact has nothing to do with me." "How dare you!" As the women stood glaring at each other, court staff and officials began filing into the courtroom. The judge was among them. Rather than cease their bickering, however, both sides elected to escalate. "Be quiet," the judge called out angrily. "I'll have you all thrown out." But none of the combatants could even hear him over the sound of their own voices. The groupies had launched into a rambling tirade about their way of life, the generation gap, their academic history, social standing, and stock indices? As a form of argument, it went far beyond unproductive. Ryoko had been pushed to her limits. "How about we have him settle this matter for us?" she shouted. The other women abruptly fell silent, taken aback. "This is a courtroom. Let's ask the judge to decide who's in the right." Ryoko rushed to the front of the visitors' gallery and called out to the judge. "These women are being weird, right? Could I please have an official verdict?" "Yes, they are officially weird." The other women were quick to fire back. "This young lady is at fault for not knowing her place. We've done nothing wrong." The judge stared at them, his face suddenly a mask of stern deliberation. Ryoko and the others held their breaths. "You're both in the wrong." The stern rebuke elicited peals of joy from Ryoko and the other women. More! Say something else, please!" "Oh, please, deliberate some more!" "All of you, behave!" The judge's tone was even harsher now, but Ryoko and the others only shrieked more gleefully. "This is bizarre." "I said behave!" the judge roared. He hurled the object he'd been carrying at the giddy group in the gallery. Really? Bulky and heavy, it hurtled through the air. Ryoko and the others reached out their arms, each struggling to be the first to get their hands on it. Lunging forward at the last instant, Ryoko landed the catch. "I'll be taking this, thanks!" With a cry of triumph, she dashed out of the courtroom. As she exited the building, she could hear the older women crying out in dismay behind her. She grinned gleefully, clutching her prize to her chest. It remains her proudest possession to this day. That judge's personal copy of the Compendium of Laws. Wow, he literally threw the book at her! The end. Weird. The judge got mad and threw something at her, and she's happy. The end. Okay. Now let me undo this decision with Minorikawa. God damn, that was bizarre. And meanwhile, the funny thing is, all we've ever seen from Ryoko in the main story is being exasperated by Minorikawa being annoying. There we go. I solved it. I fixed Shibuya Scramble. God, that was a weird one, though. Moving on. Minorikawa again, actually. 1605. The Stumbling Man. Is it fun hitting people with that thing? Okay. Oh yeah, real fun. Friggin' Kiryu, that guy is a legend. He has some of the best faces in this game of just sheer insanity. That guy is bonkers. I think I have just the thing. May as well go with my usual. Frickin' pipe. Goddamn lunatic, that guy. Man, what a dumbass. And ironically, he does come back and get his ass beat. Kimizuka, the hero taxi driver. Okay, push button code again. Oh, hey, Chiaki! Alright, what a hero. Underneath a dazzling, brightly lit sign was a staircase leading to the basement level entrance. I stood at the top of the steps. Maybe I should have turned this one down. No, I couldn't think like that. There was no way I could turn this down. I've been completely broke, with no money and no other work in the offing. Offing? When Mr. Mino gave me this chance. I had been tasked with a page of the monthly 4-star general gossip, and I wanted my work to live up to his expectations. I had to do it. But it all started several hours earlier. There's this new establishment that's popular with middle-aged and older folks, Mr. Mino said. I'd like you to go there and get an interview. I was a bit startled by the request. It's popular with old guys? Is this place something risque? The core demographic for the gossip was older men. This readership was often baited with lewd articles. But if the place in question was a porn shop or something similar, wouldn't it be better to send a man instead? No, Mr. Mino said. It's not what you're thinking. It's perfectly fine for women to go there. What sort of establishment is it, then? Mr. Mino cleared his throat. From what I hear, they yell at you. Yell at you? Like you pay them to get mad at you on purpose? That's right. What for? Well, that's what I'm sending you to go find out. I've made an appointment for you, so get going already. Mr. Mino's barking kicked me into gear, and I found myself heading over to the place. Is it the argument clinic? With some trepidation, I made my way down the stairs. People got mad at me all the time when I was out on the job, so I couldn't understand why anyone would want to pay for the privilege of being chewed out. I opened the door at the end of the hall, and my ears were immediately treated to the sounds of women's voices snapping angrily. I told the young man working as the host that I was there for an interview, and he led me to a waiting room. There were female employees in there glaring sharply at the waiting customers. Why are the people who work here so angry? I asked. Oh, that's a service we provide for free. The young host kept his voice low, but there was pride in his response. Every so often, one of the women would click her tongue in disapproval. Each time he heard it, the older man alongside her would sheepishly cast his eyes down. So this is like a dom-sub thing? Yeah, this is not exactly deep lore here. I hadn't the foggiest idea why he seemed so happy. I was scared. No, more like weirded out. If I could have, I would have turned right around and left. But I needed the money, and more importantly, I owed it to Mr. Mino to get the material he wanted. Chiaki Iso, we're ready for you now, said the host. This way, please. Yes, of course. Thank you so much. My voice broke as I gave my reply. Awkwardly, I shuffled out of the waiting room. A woman on a sofa glared at me, shaking her head and tisking 3 times. The private room was maybe 50 square feet, the floor covered with tatami mats. We do hope you enjoy yourself. Please wait here, kneeling in the seiza position. I don't know what that is. I did as I was told and got on my knees with my legs folded beneath my thighs. Hey, I know what that is. I worried that if I didn't, the host would be mad at me as well. As I waited nervously, I could hear voices coming from the room next door. An older man and a woman were speaking with animation. "Oh, bless you. Are you really sorry, you miserable little ingrate? Bless you, bless you." What the heck were they going on about? How could something like that be fun? "You sure seem to be enjoying yourself." I looked up to see that a woman had come into the room while I was distracted. "It's not every day a girl shows up here. Did I hear correctly? You're here for an interview?" Yeah. "And do you know just what it means to be scolded?" She was older than me and had the bearing of a private secretary. Now she loomed above me with a condescending glare. All I could do was peer back up at her, down on my knees. "Who told you were allowed to look up?" Sorry. I quickly broke off eye contact. "Where are you looking? Look a person in the eye when you're talking to them." First it was don't look, then it was look. This was absurd. I just wanted to get this over with as quickly as possible. Huddling in on myself, I focused on that hope. The woman let out a deep sigh of disapproval. "Are you going to write an article about how you don't understand why people would get out of their way to be scolded?" "No, of course not." "Don't you lie to me!" She belted out the words furiously. "Well, go on, am I wrong? What are you going to do? Answer me!" Eep! I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to go home. Plus, my butt was getting all sweaty from sitting in Seiza. "Look at how weak and subservient you are. You've lived your whole life just running away from your responsibilities. That's why you deserve a chewing out like this." I felt like she'd hit me in my very core. She'd zeroed right in on all the internal issues I'd been harboring. The fact was, she was right. I'd been a wishy-washy mess my entire life. Back in elementary school, my gym teacher told me he wasn't going to let me go home until I was able to do a pull-up. I just clung to the metal bar and stared blankly out at the sunset. Oh, God. When I was taking high school entrance exams, there was one time when my train was running late for the test for the school I most wanted to attend, and I just gave up and went home. I was the same now, too. When I was broke and hungry, instead of trying to get work, I just lie in bed and stare at the wall. I was hopeless. A hopeless excuse for a human being. No. That was going easy on myself. I was a no-good, worthless, hopeless excuse for a human being. Before I knew it, tears were streaming down my cheeks. "What's all this? You think it's okay to cry? People like you are the reason men get all worked up about women using tears as a weapon. Apologize. Apologize on behalf of women everywhere, right now." I'm sorry." My voice was choked by tears and ragged with raw emotion. "Say it louder. Say it like you mean it." "I'm sorry." And that's when I noticed. A group of people had gathered by the doorway. The host had shown me around, the women who worked there, and even some other customers were all watching. I looked up, and they broke into applause. "Huh?" I blurted, bewildered. "Amazing. You really know how to take a scolding." "Huh? What?" I had no idea what was going on. Everyone just kept on clapping. "Don't look away like that. No flattering yourself just because you're getting applause." Yes, ma'am." My audience let out a collective cry of awe at my mewling squeak. But the woman, seemingly unsatisfied, proceeded to scold me all the more harshly. In the end, I wound up getting chewed out for twice as long as would be usual. The club was, kind enough to set that up for me. Really, though, all I wanted was to get out of there and go home as soon as possible. "Chiaki, you're late. What have you been doing?" As I came stumbling out of the club, I nearly ran into Mr. Mino, waiting for me by the entrance. Evidently, he'd come to get me when I didn't make it back by the appointed time. I apologized for not calling him, explained the situation. Thankfully, he believed me. So then, how did the interview go? It went great. I got a ton of applause. And so began another harsh chewing out as Mr. Mino demanded that I explain just what the hell kind of interview I'd been doing. Oh man, that's too much pressure. I'm gonna do one more before ending the stream. This is freaking odd, man. One more. Shibuya Scramble's a weird game. Minorikawa again. Sorry for the blur, it's kind of dizzying for me too. There. Boom. Am I missing something here? Ah, there it is. How long does it take to get there? Oh, god damn it. Alright. We got reading. Hey there, Kikyo-sano. Hey there, Adrian. Oh yeah, this guy. I love that snap whenever he points. His trademark Minorikawa point. I'm a freelance writer. These sound effects are great. Uh-huh. I should be careful next time I go picking stuff up. What? Alright, so I realize. Damn, that's so much. Oh well. Picking our way through, like you do. Scrolling through this text. Damn, you're the one making the extreme argument! Uh-huh, uh-huh. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Argue, argue, argue. Okay, a few more screens. Damn, I gotta work for this one. I think we're about there. Thank you for your cooperation. Here it is. Did I miss something? There it is. Must have pressed the buttons wrong a couple times. Got it. Hey, this guy. Taisei Yasuda. The sound of fingers clacking across a keyboard echoed in the dimly lit room. As soon as he'd gotten back to his apartment after his shift at the second-hand shop, Yasuda had gone straight to his computer. Ever since he'd started his blog, his day didn't feel complete until he'd made an update. And there we go. Taking a deep breath, Yasuda read back over what he'd just written. It's called mixed martial arts for a reason. It's more than just punching. If your strikes aren't working out, you go for a takedown or something instead. I shared my observations here on my blog, and then, the week after, he managed to get his first win in a while. I'm positive that he saw my post. So come on, Funiyama. If you're lost in the darkness, just lend me your ear. I'll let you know what to do. Another good one today. Feeling pleased, Yasuda clicked the post button. The floor of Yasuda's 100-square-foot apartment with kitchenette was littered with mounds of martial arts magazines, so many that there was hardly any room to walk. His tiny LCD TV was set to a martial arts cable network. The TV ran 24 hours a day, and he saved the footage to a hard disk recorder. And of course, once a week he would go out to see a fight and then post about it on his blog. His most recent post was typical of his combative tone. He knew that he came off as a little harsh, but his criticism was driven by his love of the sport. His confident online pronouncements did lead to an intense backlash from time to time, however. A few days after his scathing critique of Funiyama, for example, Yasuda received a rare response on his blog. The respondent's username was Passerby. That's how he took his opponent to the mat toward the end of the match, right? Ugh, seriously, what match were you even watching? And where the hell do you get off offering pointers like that? Yasuda's blood boiled as he read the comment. Where the hell did this person get off? His fingers darted to the keyboard. Huh? First off, who the hell are you? That tackle was clearly just him trying not to look like he'd been taken down. You think that was deliberately set up? Pfft, don't make me laugh. STFU, noob. Funiyama has had a pretty comprehensive career. If he has enough humility to hear me out, I'm sure he'll be able to win. Don't you want him to have a bright, bold future? If not, then you can just GTFO. I'm not going to delete your comment, because I want other people to be able to see how wrong you are. Oh god, Yasuda's one of these assholes. Satisfied that he set the record straight, Yasuda went to bed. But the next morning, when he checked his blog before going to work, he noticed immediately that something was unusual. The thread had gotten over 300 replies! Wow, someone sure is full of himself. Quit talking like you know more than you do. Maybe you should try stepping into the ring yourself if you're such an expert. Look at me, I could teach some dumbass what I know. People were having a field day. A few of them had come to Yasuda's defense, but they had been dismissed as sock puppet accounts. He snarled as he stared at the monitor, too preoccupied to even think of heading to the shop. Should he close the thread? Should he maybe close the whole blog instead? He leaned back and stared at the ceiling, thinking hard. He could only come to one conclusion. I'm not running from this. I'll take on any challengers, anytime, anywhere. Slapping himself on both cheeks, Yasuda started typing out a new post. You guys don't understand anything. Mixed martial arts, as the name implies, involves a mixture of different fighting styles. Karate, judo, wrestling, boxing, you name it, I've done it. I'm watching these fights on a different level than the rest of you. Oh, watching. So STFU, you noobs, I'm gonna school you. In reality, not only did Yasuda have no martial arts experience, he had barely participated in any sports in his entire life. The only place he was a martial artist was inside his own head. Oh my god, this sounds like that Marine copy-paste thing. Like, what the fuck did you say to me, bitch? I'm trained in 6 forms of, like, deadly martial arts. You're nothing but a target to me. It's, like, the funniest post. His new post generated even more comments than before. 20 comments was usually a good day. This time it easily blows past 3,000. Dude, this is not worth it. Sweat beaded on Yasuda's forehead. It wasn't out of any apprehension, though. His fighting spirit had been ignited. Yasuda! 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 An imaginary crowd chanted his name in his mind. I'm being tested right now. Tested on my love of the martial arts. That's it. I'm not opening the shop today. This is more important than work. He whipped off his shirt, leaving himself half naked. He smacked himself on the cheeks repeatedly with his open palms, then turned to face the mirror. You are strong. You are a champion. Kick some ass. You're an ass kicker. You can do it. Are you talking to me? I don't see anyone else around here, so you must be talking to me. Pumped up by his pep talk, he let out a high-pitched battle cry. Yeah, like high-pitched? Yasuda charged over to the keyboard. Feeling ferocious, he started to type. The words rushed out like a wild torrent. Come on, man, he shouted to keep himself psyched up. Shut the hell up, Mr. Yasuda, shouted his neighbor, an Indian exchange student named Mohinder from the other side of the apartment wall. That's amazing. Just some guy, like, guy, shut up. Yasuda ignored him. After he fired off his post, the internet was quick to respond. When it did, Yasuda fired back again. It was like a fight that had turned into a hell-bent brawl, with no concern for defense. Hey, can anyone search this guy's earlier blog post and find out where he is? Oh no, he's gonna get doxxed. I'm pretty sure he said where he works. Now the Cybermon was picking through the details Yasuda had posted, trying to pinpoint where he lived. Ordinarily, he would have been trembling with fear right now. But he refused to back down. LOL, if you're gonna come at me, come at me. I'll take you on anytime you want. I'll show you how to pull off an actual tackle. Oh my god, this is the Navy SEAL copy pasta. My only worry is accidentally killing someone. Before you fight me, you'll have to sign a waiver absolving me of any liability if you die. My fists are registered as deadly weapons. If you're still good with that, then bring it on. After posting his defiance, though, he felt a sudden twinge of worry. What if someone really did challenge him? What would he do? He didn't know how to perform a tackle or even throw a punch, really. Still, now was no time to hesitate. He'd deal with any challenge when it came, by taking it promptly to the police. Several months went by, and a flood of heated comments on Yasuda's blog continued. People had managed to track down his address and had learned his real name, but nobody had come to challenge him yet. In all likelihood, Yasuda's commenters were just like him, martial artists in their own minds only. That being the case, he decided, he could go after them for all he was worth. That reminds me of, like, an old school YouTube video I saw of, like stereotypes where, like, these two, like, I don't know what country they were from, but these two, like, Asian guys, like, were passing each other by, and they were like, uh-oh, gotta look cool and hope that he, like, assumes I know martial arts, and both of them just had really lame BS to talk about how they were badass, but are in no mood to fight today. It was really funny. They're like, oh yeah, like, my master wouldn't approve of such a thing, and they both just kind of leave. It was amazing. Whoa, hey now, are the loudmouths who come to this blog really all talk and no action? Come on, I said I'd take on anyone at any time. Really, dude? He's gonna push this? If you got beef with me, come to the statue of Hachiko in Shibuya tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Oh no, is this when like a million guys in black show up and he's like, oh god. Hell, I'll even pay for your travel. You'll need the money for the medical expenses when I'm done with you. What a freaking dink. Hey, Yasuda, it's 10 o'clock. Where the hell are you? I'm here. I'm a boxer with 5 years experience. I've been doing jujutsu for 7 years, and I'm here. Don't see no Yasuda, though. Did Yasuda wuss out and run? Let's go to where he works. Don't be idiots. I didn't run off. I was just in the bathroom for a bit because my stomach was acting up. I'm by Hachiko now. How come no one's here? Is no one there? Yeah. Don't lie, Yasuda. You're the one who's not here. I said I'm here. Where the hell are you? And to this day, the battle of imaginary martial artist versus imaginary martial artist rages on. Each competitor still safely ensconced at home. Nice. The blog still gets over 1,000 hits a day. Congratulations, Taisei Yasuda. Man, the internet truly is the land of imaginary badasses. It's so good. I can't believe he went as far as, like, my only risk is, like, accidentally killing somebody. Shut the hell up, dude. It's freaking embarrassing. Even after, long after at this point, long after I've beaten this game, it continues to deliver over and over again. Freaking 428 is the stuff of legends. But alas, this is where I'm going to end the stream for tonight. So thank you very much for joining, and have a wonderful night.